team pick. Dire team pick.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Radiant team pick.
Winter Wyvern.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Zeus.
Radiant team ban.
Anti-mage.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I told you we wouldn't be long. I'm sure that a few minutes was enough to you guys get your satisfaction ahead here of Nigma versus 5 men. Game number 1 draft is just around the corner here, but I do have to introduce my panel once again. I've got Dan Og and I've got Darcy here. Lads, we talked about this quite a lot in the pre-show, the fact that this Nigma versus 5 men series will all come down to the draft. So let's break it down. Let's talk about some heroes we're going to see contested. Let's talk about maybe some strategies that we might see from both counter one another.
Yeah, I think the Magnus is probably the most commonly picked one across both of them, so I think that first... If you're on 5...
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Is the Wind Ranger, so...
10 seconds remaining.
It feels like this mid lane is going to dictate the pace of both these teams. Does Weehaw have to start going back to his old heroes that he used to play quite a lot outside of, the Viper, the Wind Ranger, those heroes and the Bat Rider that we've seen quite a lot from it?
The problem I see there is that normally they want a mid enabler so that Miracle has that hard carry free farm game, and I think that's when they really play well, is when Miracle just gets so fat early in the game, his timings accelerate, and then you just use him to kind of dictate the pace of the game in the mid game.
5 seconds remaining.
But it's very important that Weehaw plays an enabler but does well, because it's just when you're playing an enabler from behind, you're just a useless hero. seen games where I think he was playing bad in this tournament as well. Not the previous series, but he just had a poor start. I think it was against Storm, Borneo Storm.
Yeah, against Mud Golems. Yeah.
And he just didn't do anything throughout the whole game.
Who was he playing in that one? Was he a Queen of Pain or
No,
something?
he was a Bat Rider.
Yeah, it was Bat Rider.
He was a
against
Bat Rider,
Storm.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Queen of Pain is another one of his heroes. Void Spirit, I feel like, fits that similar mold, but I don't think we're going to be seeing any sort of like Weeha TAs. Weeha Meepo didn't work out all that well in the first series against Yellow Submarine, so it's kind of a narrower hero pool, but if there's anyone that can make it work, I trust Weeha. You know, he's a 2-time TI runner-up for a reason.
Do we think that that first series up against Yellow Submarine kind of gave Weeha a little bit of a sting? You know, picking... Obviously, it was a pretty bad Meepo game, if we're being honest.
it
It
was.
was not that good of a Meepo game.
I think he
but-
was just most concerned about looking bad in front of Super Rudy. I think that was his biggest thing, right? Because he's the man, the myth, the legend. You can't be having a showing like that in
10
front of the god of
remaining.
Dota.
Is that why he started to default back to his, you know, Bat Riders, his Vipers, his
5 seconds
He
remaining.
went back to school, basically.
pretty much, but we'll see if that's how it does pan out. But another player that we talked about a little bit on Nigma is Aramet. Like we talked about a few of his heroes that he's really comfortable on, his Instructor, his Oracles and stuff like that. Is that something else that they're going to be prioritizing quite a lot here for Nigma?
I think so. I think there are a few common heroes across both lineups. Venge is probably #1, but we know that Piladai, he's kind of got away from it, but he plays this certain style of like, you know, medic, where he goes, you know, the Oracle. I think those are both very highly contested picks as well. One, because RMN plays the Oracle very well, but also Pugna is another one of these Weeha heroes that can be that space creator, can be that lane dominator. I'm interested to see where and how deep they go into the draft or banning.
Yeah, I like how they've finally been adapting on the medic role. They're not necessarily picking it every single game. Depending on the game, if it looks good, they can go for it. If not, pick something else. They went for the Venge. They've already done
Dire team
IO,
pick.
I think, as well in this tournament, which is really nice to see. And just in general, having this flexibility allows your game to be played out differently. But the Venge Drow is one of the lineups that I'm kind of worried in the series, because they can just pick it up, pair it up in the first phase, but like Secret.
And their most recent series as well, it was kind of really surprising because
10
you pick
seconds
Pilot Eye, something like a
remaining.
Nature's Prophet, and they actually gave him more farm than Misery. You know, it was
5
crazy. All
seconds
Misery
remaining.
really needed was, I believe, the Blue Dagger, and then it was like, look, it's all yours, buddy. You know, I'm happy to sit back, take a back seat, and let Pi not be that position 7 anymore.
I mean, we've seen that across a few of these other teams. I think Liquid is the biggest one that comes to mind when it comes to changing farm priority depending on the hero matchups you have. And I think it's we've seen it, you know, in the first couple of years of Dota, a lot of people were very stock standard in their roles. Mid players only played mid, carry players played just carry, and then we saw a few rotations between carry players and mid players being able to switch a lot. And then we got to a point where we're now seeing 4s and 3s being able to change up, and now we're seeing 5s and 4s being able to change up. But ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, I know you guys have all been waiting ever so patiently for the draft, so we're a little bit deep into this one. We do apologize for that, but we've got it up on your screens right now. Nigma versus 5 men. Lads, let's start to dive into it.
Very interesting. I mean, we expected the Magnus, right?
Yep.
We were thinking about Venge, perhaps one of these games we see a
Radiant
Venge Drow
team
lineup,
pick.
but we see a Winter Wyvern into Anti-Mage opener after the Magnus. It's really interesting because Zeus as an opener is also not stock standard. Anti-Mage is a miracle hero, obviously, but it looks like Nigma's already approached a way where they already decided this is the win condition. We're just going to have this Anti-Mage pick. We're
10
going to delay the
seconds
game by
remaining.
utilizing this Winter Wyvern, and obviously we have strong lanes with the Undying. We just need to
5
play
seconds
a
remaining.
way that we can create enough
Radiant
space so
team
that the
back.
Anti-Mage gets to the late game and you can win. But obviously the Zeus
Ooh.
doesn't necessarily mean it's mid, right? I mean,
Ace Lone Druid, that is something that's kind of coming out of the history books. Fun fact though, he hasn't won in a competitive match with the Lone Druid for about 2 years. I think he's picked it 3 times in
That's rough.
In the
10
last 2
seconds
years.
yeah,
remaining.
it's crazy, right? Like
That
Ace
used to be a
is-
hero that you would think that Ace would be playing a lot.
No, I mean, that
5
was back on
seconds
like
remaining.
the secret days, basically, where he was playing with them. And I mean, game 1, I think that's the time where you could pull out these sort of niche things, right? I think the Zeus that early on might be punished a little bit, but you can see in the banning phase, like we were talking about, Batrider's gone, Viper's gone, Void Spirit's gone. So I'm really liking the bans coming up from 5 minutes, just, you know, the order of things in their pick phase that I'm a little bit more concerned about.
yep, and Nigma's bans are just
Dire
according
team
to
back.
having your best teammates. You don't want to deal with the Slaughter in the lane, you don't want to deal with a combo as well. PA just comes online too quick, and it's a very good way to get that burst damage instantly, especially since they lack this disable. They don't have the best crowd control. So far, it's really just the Curse as well as the Centaur stun, but
I mean, conversely,
10
they don't really
seconds
have it on
remaining.
5 men either, right? You've got Charge, you've got Bash, you've got the Root from the
5
Lone Druid, and of
seconds
course
remaining.
RP. The thing I was thinking of that they might have gone for was, again, this global strategy. You've got a Spirit Breaker that can be anywhere at any time. You've got a Zeus, so once you get that Nimbus and Thunder Gods, I thought they might have been leaning more towards the Spectre, but I feel like, again, they just do need that extra little bit of lockdown for this end.
What I'm now wondering for 5-man is this mag just going to be Pilot Die? Can they just flexi this mag? Because Zeus as well is one of those heroes that hasn't really seen much flexibility in this tournament so far. It's always just been the mid, but they normally pick it in the 4th or 5th pick, right?
Yeah.
So having this Zeus opener might mean it could be a position 4, it could be a position 2, Magnus could be a position 3, a position 2, or position 5. So you don't really know what's going on for 5-man, but all you do know is they have a way to take down towers, they have very strong lanes, and they have this ability to just chase down the anti-mage. And the nice pair up here I like is the Zeus Nimbus with the Spirit Breaker in the later stages of the game.
Oh, these two bands coming in here from Nigma do tend me to lean towards like a Weehaw Invoker, boys. It's something that we've seen from the history books from Weehaw. He's had an amazing performance across so many tournaments on that hero, and we've seen the resurgence of it a little bit here in this one. A lot of Coswex Invoker, a few Exorts.
It's okay, but it's a little slow in my mind, right? You've already got an anti-mage that's going to be wanting to take a back seat that needs his first 3 items, you know, Battle, Fury, Manta-style Basher, before he's really able to do anything in a lot of these team fights. And Venomancer is definitely going to slow him down for that. You would assume that that's probably going to be... that even going to be? I think maybe it's a pie die sort of hero. We see a few teams mix that up and put it into the position 5 role against a Centaur. It's okay. But like anti-mage, you can just blink out, right? You don't have the kill potential if you're laning that against it. But it does hinder a big win condition for Nigma, so I think they've still got some flexibility here between the Mag and the Veno as to where they're going to be played.
Yeah, I think also that being said, I think Veno is going to be played as position 3. You need a hero that can pressure the anti-mage and always keep supports down there. If you force the enemy to react to your Veno position 3, you have Lone Druid on the other side lanes who can just pummel down the towers.
Now select your heroes.
And we're going back for the Lina. This is a hero where I was very comfortable in the past, and one of the heroes that he innovated, playing that physical right-click damage build up on.
I'm sure Lacoste is molding right now, just looking at this draft. Last pick Lina again here. He hated it for the entire of ESL Germany, so let's see if Weehaw can have a hot performance on this hero. But lads, seeing these all in all, we've got Shibitse playing, picking up the Venomancer. There's a position 4 Spirit Breaker, and a 5 Magnus coming in again here for Highlight Die. So yeah, bit of an interesting one, lads.
I think the 5 mag is actually alright here because Wyvern is not the strongest laner early on. You know, maybe level 3 you can get some decent damage and slows coming out with the Centaur being able to stun and combo to follow up on that. But it means that you get that first little bit of farm. You're not going to be pressured all too much. And I think the big priority is going to be for 5-men getting Zibby at least his level 3, and then Misery is just going to be roaming around the map constantly. Wyvern not the best roamer as well. So I think Misery, his main role is to make sure that Chessie does have a good game in this.
Yeah, for me, I actually like Nigma's draft, despite the fact that it's the mids. We all hate it. Costi hates it, but it enables their team to have follow-up damage. It's going to be a decent lane. It doesn't necessarily have to own the lane. It just has to do well. And yeah, she's a little prone to the Spirit Breaker, but at the same time, I think the win Nigma is pretty simple. Just don't get run down too much early game. Play around the anti-mage, and I just don't like this Magnus pick here.
Yeah, all right, lads. Well, we saw the GG bet odds. They are favoring Nigma here, so we're going to hand it over to our casters for game number 1. It's going to be Gareth and Lacotte.
I shall honor your name.
Prepare for battle.
Thanks guys, and here we are, first game of our first series of the day as 5 men take on Team Nigma, and we're getting ourselves into position for our laning phase here as we've got a Miracle AM, but Lacoste, I think what we want to talk about, or what you want to talk about, is the final couple of picks. Venomancer came out, an audible groan from Lacoste where it's like, oh, that's disgusting, and then the Lina where he was actually disgusted. 10th pick Lina, something you're not a fan of, but do you think it's all right here?
I think it's all right here. Usually I'm the guy who's going to say this pick is super shitty, especially if it's 10th pick, but considering the heroes that they have, they know what win condition is. You have your anti-mage, you just want to buy time, you do not want to get ran over by the strat that 5 men have, so they needed someone that's going to push out the lane, someone's going to do well in the laning stage against Zeus and it's a comfortable pick for V as well, so I can understand why they went for it. You expected me to go ham on the 10th pick, Lena, didn't you? Huh?
No, that's why I said it's all right here, isn't it? It's not as devastating as sometimes you like to make it out to be. Bounty rune contest is already beginning. Mind Control's going to sneak one away from Pilot Eye bottom. As up top, GH already battling with Misery's Spirit Breaker. Getting that Arctic Burn going. Bit of chip damage there. A long cooldown on this level 1 spell. We've seen a fair few Wyverns go for like Splinter Blast level 1, especially just to secure range creeps. But we'll see exactly what this Wyvern gets up to.
Wyvern, not particularly strong laner. 46 damage with Null Talisman.
Oh,
Bit of yikes.
doesn't feel so great. Pili Die, what are you up to? Boots on the Magnus. Something that the panel pointed out, you know, obviously Magnus doesn't feel like a great hero here. They have to kind of shift him into the position 5. Nobody for him to really empower in this game either. Maybe you give it to the bear. See exactly what Paladin has planned as he shockwaves the creep wave. Tries to drag it away, but both GH and RMN giving chase onto Paladin. Try and body block the wave, stop him from dragging. Nah, just let him take it.
So Paladin is just buying time so that Venomancer can get some XP on the top lane. Venom's starting with the Poison Stink, pretty standard stuff. AM, we see that quite often where they tend to get 1 Ring of Regen, sometimes even 2 if you're playing like Void into Venomancer. But let's check the mid lane. Zeus 6-1 so far, pretty good. We only sitting at 3 CS and 1 deny, and he's very low on HP. Also, he needs to be very careful about using that healing cell because it can easily get cancelled by Chessie.
Yeah, against the Zeus not buying a magic stick, trying to rush into that bottle as quickly as he can. I didn't really place any wards to spot the Radiant high ground in that mid lane. Just one watching for the rotation of Misery Spirit Breaker off towards that bottom rune spot. I guess we thinking that he's not likely to get any charges anyway, as Chessie can just play Fog. We gives it as good as he takes. Good little Light Striker right there with a right-click harass. And then bottom lane, our final lane. Ace on the Lone Druid. Mind Control, and now GH down here as Misery Spirit Breaker, trying to get towards the Courier, but he's just going to bash around the Centaur for a little bit.
Anti-Mage is free-farming on the top lane, being very close to his Ring of Health. Once you get that, you don't care too much about Venomancer at all, especially because it's a position 5 mag, starting with the boots of speed. They might actually swap things around, give priority to mag in this game so that he can get the mid lane. Chessie, he'll drop.
Oh, we diving onto tier 1 and the Shockwave misses.
Scorcher.
Level 2 Dragon Slave there from the Lina. Able to keep that damage going from reasonably long range. Great start for Yelena already. And this is in large down to the fact that Misery hasn't been able to make any rotations mid really. Mind Control and GH both keeping the Spirit Breaker bottom. Also, Misery has to kind of give this experience to the Lone Druid, so he's been trying to keep out of creep wave range while still trying to harass his opponents.
It's a good start for V on a mid. Because of that kill and solo XP, he will get faster 6 than Zeus and might even grab another kill. Also has a bottle, so someone will need to go and check the rune just to secure it. Like, what I dislike about 5-man trap is that they are giving a free lane anti-mage. Like, Ziba is gonna keep harassing him with the poison sting, but the Ring of Regen and Ring of Health plus regeneration coming from the tower will be enough for AM to sustain in this lane. And Magnus does not give you any kill threat, at least not on AM.
Radiant's bottom
Well, they try on the
tower is under
Undying.
attack.
RMN just pops a quick decay and TP's away. DH getting bashed up mid as Chessie's chased by Wee. One Mango is ready here for the Lina. He's trying to keep going for this, and the Light Strike Array, no, it's the Dragon Slave that secures it. Misery charges forward. GH, what's he got? Arctic Burn and nothing much else. So the trade will be there. Little collapse.
Interesting.
From 5
Misery
men.
only got 200 gold for that kill.
Oh, wow. You're right. 182 experience as well. Not a lot. Doesn't seem like we lost money really either. Not too bad for Team Nigma there.
Charge on Miracle. I don't think they can kill him, but at least you can try to harass him a bit, unless he misuses the blink. But no, Mag is not there, and even if he was, he has no mana to try and secure the bounty runes.
At the very least, that move
that's
secures a couple of bounty runes for 5 men. Bottle refill for Chessie. But a really weird, unconventional tri-lane up top. Pila Die, Misery on this Magnus Spirit Breaker. Double melee supports. Struggling to find an avenue towards any kind of aggression this match.
Lina has boots coming to her, and she is level 6, so if she lands LSA on Zeus, he's dead.
Oh yeah, he's straight up dead. Mind Control might be in a little bit of trouble bottom. Cutting creep wave. Ace is going to come in to try and find him.
Tower is under attack.
And he's still got 500 HP. Maybe Pili Die can cut him off at the staircase as MC stuck around for creep wave too many. Entangling Claws are there, and Zeus will secure the kill, while top lane RMN dropping also. Misery and Zibe. Almost found Miracle. 100 HP left on that anti-mage, but like you were mentioning before, Ring of Health plus the Ring of Regen keeping him topped up at least.
RMN dying there. I think RMN stands for Rudy Molding Out. That's what it stands for.
Oh, you found the perfect one, Lacoste.
Yes,
you got
I
there
did.
in the end. Oh, that's a good one. Ace getting gone on. Splinter Blast slowing him down with the Arctic Burn. Mind Control trying to get around the tree and cuts through it. But Pili Die arriving now with that Spirit Bear going wild. It's a genuine question. Who is Pili Die going to empower this game?
Radiant's
Bear.
middle tower
It is just the
under
bear?
attack.
I mean, he does not have a target. You can try to empower Spirit Breaker.
Oh, top lane RMN. Chased under the tower. Wheelhouse rotation comes in. Lina with a Laguna Blade just zaps Zibe down, and Misery, can he get away from this? There's a Light Strike Ray being held. He tries the charge, but the stun hits.
Lands the stun.
Beautifully done. First rotation gets 2 kills.
That's a good rotation. They not only saved one of the heroes, but got 2
Dire's
kills,
middle
and now
tower is under
Anti-Mage will
attack.
get some solo XP, get himself to level 6, and will continue to farm. Neutral items will start dropping right now. Let's see if he finds the Iron Talon, as he usually does. Good stuff for Zeus. Finds the Keen Optic. Spirit Breaker refills the bottle for him. They might start to play aggressively on V, but GH already there. Sitting behind him knows something's cooking.
Yeah, they know how fragile this Lina can be. Always needs backup. Cold Embrace could potentially save her life. But there is always a Zeus on the enemy team with a lot of magic damage. Mind Control has pretty much given up playing the lane properly. Just wave cutting. He's got raindrops now to try and mitigate any of that damage coming in. As Misery has made the long charge from top down to bot. And MC Centaur forced to stomp.
He's still 5.
Pili Die still trying to stick around here, and that's allowed Chessie to come in to gather up the kill.
At least I deigned to notice you.
No stampede.
I believe Mind Control knew he was already dead and just tried to bought a bit of time.
Smoke up, heading top again, as Ace makes a nice little pull down bottom lane, trying to reset his wave, farming jungle camps, and he is incredibly farmed, 57-24. Nearly has that Mask of Madness. Oh, it is coming out, in fact. Water's Bear on the courier, and look at how Team Nigma are moving. They know Lone Druid is pretty much the win condition here for 5 men, so they're going to gather up around him. Light Strike Array, Laguna Blade, everything
Radiant's
you've
bottom
got.
tower is under attack.
We pretty much solo kills the Lone Druid as they think about pressuring the tier 1 bottom as anti-mage top. Charged up, there's the bash. Hitting him with the stuns, but he blinks back. And he looks perfectly fine. We with another rotation. We just moving from lane to lane, finding the stun, and Misery. He's just about done. RMN has to retreat as the skewer blocks the advance, but Chessie is the one to get the only kill from that top lane with a long-range global
Radiant's
ulti.
bottom tower is under attack.
We is being so active right now. Getting all the runes, getting the big kills, especially the one on Lone Druid, helping AM on the top lane. I mean, he understands that he's not the win condition, AM is, and he needs to secure the lane. He's farming nicely, not the best one, sitting at the 3.3k net worth at the moment, and Found the Iron Talon. It's 5 men. Charge.
Mind control has to stampede away.
Radiant
So now
are
AM
scanning.
getting back into that jungle. Poor man's shield comes up for him, not too bad. The Radiant scan. Bounty runes are coming. Oh, Misery. So close to getting the charge, but in comes Lina now, and Misery at the bail. Too many Team Nigma heroes down here for him to contend with.
Bounty.
Undying almost got him. He almost stunned him. Just kidding. This hero can do so little.
They're still going in though. Look at Ace. He has the Fairy Fire. He's got a 5-second cooldown on his bear respawn. RMN's Undying, deep in behind enemy lines. All the way under that tier 1. And Chetty forced to move in here for a kill on a pos 5.
Man proposes, God disposes.
It's very important
So
that
far.
your Zeus is getting the last hits, getting the kills, Etherland, Scheme Optic, a lot of mana, regeneration on Zeus. And this is a fast-looking lineup from 5 men, where Lone Druid will get the Mask of Madness, possibly a Desolator, or maybe MKB as the next item. And you have Venomancer, who's farming nicely, and 4 points in Plague Wards. First Curse used.
And Wee's coming in. He's going to be able to get the Dragon Slave and just a couple of right clicks. Light Strike Array is there to secure the kill. And Team Nigma feels like they're kind of frantically
Dire's
moving around the map,
bottom
but
tower is
they're
under
getting the
attack.
big kills that they need to slow down this early game tempo that you're mentioning that 5 men have. They want to hit their item timings around Lone Druid, but they're being stalled a little bit here.
It's also very important that they keep their tier 1 towers alive. Mid 1 almost full HP. Same goes for the top. You know, you're playing against the Lone Druid, you're playing against the Venomancer. You want to keep them alive as long as you can. Ace, scouting things out on the bottom lane. It's hard to execute a gank with Nigma unless they use one of the ultis, like Wyvern into Lina stun and combo, or if Centaur is using ulti, because you have like Wyvern, who's not really a hero that wants to rotate, and you know, you also have Undying.
That's why they're putting a lot of emphasis on this Centaur to try and get that Blink Dagger now. Lots of little items for MC. Buys up Cloak, Bracer, Phase Boots, even a little ring of protection there.
Radiant's mid
Blink Dagger
tower
queued
is
and
under
700
attack.
gold saved as we get the Yules
Dire's
up.
bottom tower is
Finding
under
Pylite
attack.
die, but he got the Invis rune. Huh. Off he goes. Level 10 Zeus with Ether Lens. Chessie has just been sitting on his side of the river, pretty much farming. Trying to accelerate into that Aghanim Scepter so they can look for those global pickoffs with the Spirit Breaker.
Now, no shenanigans, like everyone's just buying the cheapest possible items. Lone Druid going for Deso. He's getting straight Aghanim Scepter. Highlight die, still Invis. Let's see if he decides to go for RP.
2 supports there, not the ideal targets. No Observer Ward on the high ground, just a couple of sentries placed by either side. Quite uncommon seeing Undying and Wyvern just holding a tower together. Lina farming back near her tier 1. AM is in his
Dire's
jungle.
top
Centaur's
tower
holding on
is
top,
under
trying to
attack.
defend against that Veno who just keeps pushing and pressuring. Glimmer Cape on Sibe. Help them out a little bit when that Lina does come looking for you. Charge. Stopped in its tracks. Mind control with a great stomp there. Keeping Misery at bay.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Things slow down a little bit. 5 men looking again for those primary items, while this anti-mage on Team Nigma. Battle Fury closes in, and Miracle. It's always going to be that late game security for you.
It's still going to be a decent
Dire's
timing
top
on
tower
Battle
is
Fury,
under attack.
like 15
Dire's
minute
top
mark,
tower
considering
has
that
fallen.
they did not get any kills, they did not get any towers, and he got pressured a lot in the lanes. There was Spirit Breaker coming, there was Zeus ulti, plus Venomancer put some pressure. Venomancer now going for Spirit Vessel. I think they definitely need that item. Like there's a bunch of heal coming out from Soul Rip and
Radiant's
Wyvern's Cold
bottom
Embrace.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, it would be a great pickup for him.
You'll set
towards
set up in mid.
Yeah, they stopped the charge coming in, and now the Winter's Curse. Chessie stunned up, but they've got the Feather Strike. The Cold Embrace comes, but the magic damage is overwhelming. Now the Untying's on the run as the Stampede ends, and Lone Druid sends his bear forth, a couple of hits. And in comes Misery as well, but the charge in, RMN's about to drop, and so will GH. 5 men starting to run over Team Nigma, bringing the numbers into that mid lane, forcing them to fight around Alina again, who is very fragile right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
If she uses Yule Scepter offensively to try to set things up, then you're not going to have an ability to stop a charge or take care of yourself, dispel things. This should be a quick and easy tier 1 tower for 5 men. Scan. Radiant connects. Mind Control getting close to his Blink Dagger, just 700 gold away, so he can start playing with the team. They also need another form of initiation besides the Centaur ulti.
Yeah, they desperately need it. They can have Undying pretty much front line for them, try and bait stuff, start these fights. Centaur needs to be that surprise initiation coming in from
Mind Control, he's dead.
MC is about to die there. They've got charge on him, so they see exactly where he's heading. Jesse just gives him the punches. And Roshan opens up. 5 men are into the pit. This has been really snappy, decisive maneuvering from 5 men. Even with Wii having a great start and getting those early kills, we see the dangers of picking that Lina last.
Maybe I should have went ham on that last big Lina, huh? I'm just kidding, but we did a good job, but it's only thing like you can do. He had some really nice rotations, but problem is your position 4s and 5s are not very maneuverable heroes, and you can't create that much space for AM. Like, Miracle will need to carry this one hard. Try to creep skip as much as he can. Battle Fury is online, but let's see how 5 men are gonna address this. They have Aegis on the Lone Druid, the Deso, and Mask of Madness ready, plus Empower, so Bear deals a ton of damage to the towers top lane pushing in. I don't think Nigma defends this tier 2 tower, so they need to get something out of the map.
Yeah, and Pylai Dai has been given a decent amount of farm. You take a look at him, and he's saved up 1,800 gold. Blink Dagger isn't far away. It's 17 minutes in, and Pylai Dai nearly has an item. The panel was saying that 5 men have done a great job in recent weeks, especially changing that farm distribution and priority of itemization. As Misery just going to go for, casual blade mail, giving much more of that net worth as Ace is just demolished by his own bear. One Winter's Curse and he dies. Don't send it forward as the Yule's up will stop any skewer RP play. The Light Striker A in onto Pylai Dai and he's gone. Now Ace trying to get into true form, dodging out with a Savage Roar. Zippe gets a good ulti down as V's forced to turn and run. But Ace is losing his life slowly but surely. The AM stops his TP. Glimmer capable by those space, but Zippe is also trapped in behind the tier 2.
And now they're
3 on to Misery we go, but he'll charge out of danger.
This was such a crucial Winter's Curse coming out from GH. Solo kills the Aegis on Lone Druid and stops this momentum that 5 men had. So they need to be very careful about it. Man, GH, what a player.
Super great setup. That was a fight without Chessie, really, though.
Mid lane.
As he now has his Aghanos done. Nimbus is ready. Can we get it on top of the nice little Nether Strike there? They're holding on to it.
Imbe was ready. Did not want to pop it.
Wondering if Chessie thought they just didn't have enough damage. Misery was going fully wild for it, though. It looked like they had a good shot.
Yeah, you mentioned the farm distribution that 5 men had between position 4s and 5s, where there was a game when 5 played Beaver and he had like 15-minute Aghanim Scepter on position 5, and I already mentioned that they should shift farm priority in this one, give Magnus a possible Blink Dagger so he can also follow up when they group up around the Winter's Curse or just group around the Tombstone. Blink Dagger ready on a Centaur in a second.
Then we'll have that blink on blink action. I even think you're talking about the blink RP. I even think Pylai Dai might just have it in his mind. I've got to RP this anti-mage. They are lacking so heavily on lockdown that just having that ulti available for the key target in Miracle's AM might be worthwhile.
They will need to take care of Wyvern. This is the most important hero in a team fight. Take him out first if possible, and they have good things to scout him out. They have good ways to close the gap with the Spirit Breaker, Zeus, Thunder God's Wrath, and even if they use like Cold Embrace, they can place Nimbus on top of that. Spirit's Vessel completed, not just completed, he has 3 charges
Radiant's
on it.
bottom
So
tower is under attack.
Sibe, as he said
Dyer's
that
top
we need to
tower
call
has
him.
fallen.
I can't believe someone called him Cheeb. I really want to know who that caster is as well. When he said some caster called him Cheeb, I'm thinking, what? Thunder God's Wrath. Oh, still gonna kill him, GH. Nigma, they were grouping up down bottom. Solar up there, keeps RMN a little healthier, but the charge arrives under mind control. RMN dropping very low. In comes the rest of 5 men, and then cleared up a double kill for Chessie. Both supports down, and another strike there. Mind control just pummeled into the ground. 16-9, and a 6k lead here. Putting 5 men in a really good stead just to keep this momentum going.
Chessie, he's getting all the last hits. Boots of Travel ready on him, even more global presence once they use the charge. Blink Dagger finished on Mag. Now they're chasing Miracle. Not sure if they can get this kill. There's no real
Radiant's middle
follow-up.
tower is under attack.
Misery just asserting dominance. The charge into the bash. Force Miracle to blink all the way up to top.
Radiant's middle
He
tower is under
is
attack.
lurking, blinking, stunning, killing. Lone Druid yokes them into the air now, but look at Wheat, he's dying.
Dyer's
Mind
bottom
control's
tower
arrived, but
is
the blink
under
stopped,
attack.
but the backstab comes in. Another strike. Zabi trying to stun up Miracle as that Spirit Breaker just 1v1 with the AM. AM's not winning that fight, and RP comes in from Highlight Dive. He empowered Spirit Breaker. That's where the damage is going to come from. Now RMN is backstabbed by Zibe. Ace is still making his escape as Mind Control hiding away in the trees. That play,
When the game
though.
started, you ask who's gonna get empowered. The answer
Dyer's
is Spirit
structures
Breaker,
are
Misery. Like, becoming a
Dyer's
core,
bottom tower is
even
under
though he's
attack.
like 4 and a 5, he's not even a true position
Dyer's
4.
bottom
But
tower
with the Empower,
has
he can
fallen.
also clear the waves. Now they're pushing the bottom. Oh, Mind Control.
Dyer's
He also wants to
bottom tower is
creep
under
skip as
attack.
much as he can. Like, just stop the momentum. 11k gold lead for 5 men. Next rush
huge.
may respawn in 2.5 minutes. They lost the first Aegis very quickly, but there's still 2 tier 2 towers to take.
But you can see how much emphasis
Dyer's
Team Nigma
bottom
are
tower
putting
is
on
under
killing
attack.
Lone Druid. We really going for it with that
Dyer's bottom
backstab
tower has
all the way
fallen.
from that bottom right-hand corner.
Dyer's middle tower
Even
is
AM
under
jumped into
attack.
the midst of it all. Oh, Mind Control. His
Mind
TP got
Control.
cancelled out by the Nimbus. The charge was coming from Misery. They kept tabs on him, and the vision was there. Clumsy net from Misery again. And MC, he's going to be able to blink off to the side somewhere, but still with no TP. And the Thunder God's Wrath will scout him once more. So with Chessie arriving, it is as simple as you like.
It's very hard for them to play this type of a game since you're playing against the Spirit Breaker's charge. Now, even with the Nimbus, they have a lot of ways to scout you out. If you're hiding in the trees, cancel your TPs. Manta style completed on AM. Like right now, Nigma, what they're doing and trying to do is just delay the game, let our
Radiant's
anti-mage
top
gets
tower is under
another
attack.
item, split push as much as we can without losing too many heroes.
Keep on
I see
buying
Venomancer
time.
queuing up Aghanim Scepter. It's a
Dyer's
big
middle
item on
tower
Venom, but
is
what I
under
would
attack.
prefer for him to get
Radiant are
is
scanning.
Ethereal Blade. Like, you need some kind of save once Wyvern gets on top of
Dyer's
someone. It
middle
could
tower
be a
has
really
fallen.
game-changing item.
Radiant's top tower is
Especially
under
if you have the
attack.
Lone Druid Bear hitting people as well. We saw how quickly Ace died top. Now with Hyperstone on the Bear, attacking much faster.
The thing about the Ethereal Blade on Venomancer at this point is he can farm it easily. He can get that item in less than 2 minutes.
Oh, look at this. Pylai has Blink
Awesome.
and RP. And there's some big juicy heroes here for him to get, but he misses! Pylai so close to beautiful perfection, yet so far away.
All right, we'll pretend we did not see that one.
It's
They
too late,
saw
Lacoste.
him. Yeah. The outpost caught him. Miracle being charged on the mid.
They might commit for this. They're still going. Nimbus is ready as well. Miracle keeping the blinks going off to the right-hand side, and Misery does finally give up to stop Andy Ward. The map is getting smaller, though, for Team Nigma. Top lane shoved by Ace Lone Druid. Full Assault Cuirass now done, as Roshan respawns in 1 minute 45. There's plenty of time here for 5 men just to keep forcing out these lanes, farming up.
Zeus is getting too much. Like, he's just a recipe away from Refresher. 2 ultis, 2 Nimbus, and then buy.
They found mind control, hey? Clumsy Nest, can they trap him inside the Nimbus? They don't even need to. Thunder God's Wrath. Again, super long range and getting that chassis Zeus even closer to Refresher Orb, which he's just a recipe away from. Lena does spot Ace on the low ground. Yules up the bear to try and make her escape now. RMN is charged, and this Undying has nowhere to go. You can't hide in your own forest. There's an angry bear on the hunt.
A bounty which my matriarch will
Radiant's
prize.
top tower.
It's
is
so
under
little you can
attack.
do with Undying at this point of the game. Like, you have max stall rep, max tombstone, but your team's playing from behind. You're not fighting at all. Like, you're literally just a walking war. Kill me, please. Let's see where the heroes are so my
Radiant's
AM
courier
can
has been
get some
killed.
farm on the map.
Kill some couriers. Out goes the Basher recipe. Pretty much finished it off for the Lone Druid there, give them a little bit of added lockdown, which they are lacking. Zeus is being eyed up now by Nigma, though. Chessie showing on the map. Blink, stun as mind control makes his move in. Stampeding forward, but missing the light strike array. Chessie, though, doesn't really have a way to escape. Miracle's there to secure the kill, and the Wicked 6 streak giving a lot of money to Miracle's anti-mage.
Yeah, they could have not asked for anything better to happen at this point. Venomancer, he's being alone. Okay, so Venomancer decided to go for a different kind of a item build, which I really like, instead of going for Aghanim Scepter. So some more armor, more attack speed if he wants to throw that on a bear, and he can also be a saving tool that I mentioned during the Winter's Curse. Pop the armor on that ally, RMN. Fishing, baiting, trying to see if they can overextend, put themselves in a bad spot, and the GH was ready with the Blink Dagger to just counter-initiate.
And you can see AM is farming just, you know, a blink away from where this fight is starting to kick off. But Roshan being alive now gives 5 men a great opportunity to pop into the pit. While Anti-Mage is out on these lanes, showing and shoving. They would love to... Uh-oh. And now the Undying. So they've got a good idea that there's 3 or so heroes up here, and they are charging in towards RMN. We is a bigger target, blinking away, Alina's out, and RMN is just going to be left as a sacrifice here. Trails and crumbs of the path of Lena back to safety. Might actually still be in a spot of bother, but a great blink away. Tries the TP and succeeds.
And this is a pretty big item. Spirit Breaker with the Aghanim Scepter, so charge, lower cooldown, 6 seconds. That's pretty insane. And it's you can control, like, it's like AoE bash with a 6 second cooldown.
Hey, just keeps on going. Keep on chasing that AM. Roshan.
Another Roche.
Absolutely right. Aegis and Cheese this time around. Spirit Bear has the Imp Claw, Lone Druid Hero has the Ring of Aquila, sharing out these neutral items very effectively. And Magnus Venno, they're moving down bottom. Nimbus forces out the Manta style. 2 supports holding onto the tier 2 against AM, Wyvern, and even Mind Control Centaur is lurking in the shadows, waiting for a brawl to kick off.
Haste.
This has been a great performance from 5 men so far, as Nigma, even with we having that, you know, 3-1 start, now 3-2-8, he hasn't found himself any additional kills. His net worth is suffering as he now dips behind the Venomancer, and Anti-Mage isn't at the top of the board. That's the biggest factor here for Nigma, as they do stampede. Anti-Mage still hiding in the trees. Mind Control and GH trying to blink away even Misery. Has that charge forward, keeping eyes on the target and center. He's gonna get slowed down and just damaged over time, little by little, by the Venomats around the Spirit Breaker. AM clears up the bottom tier 2, sorry, and he's baiting with an illusion. Look at that, they're charging an illusion. Got ya!
Now Mag was ready to RP. He realized there's no way this is a real AM. Man, Misery is getting so much farm with the Empower.
Yeah, almost 10,000 now.
Radiant's top
Good way to
tower
accelerate
is
your
under
position
attack.
4. And Mag gets Blink. He's got 1,600 gold saved up on Pile Die, in fact. Curious to see what he goes next.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They already have. Oh, are they still going on AM? Light Strike Array towards Misery, and the illusions do burn through the majority of his mana. We and Miracle looking to get out of danger.
I feel like Nigma
Abyssal Blade
want to take a fight at all this game.
Oh, is he going to get out of here? Thunder God's Wrath, not enough, but the second Nimbus. Refresher Orb shown off, and RMN has walked into the middle of this disgusting fight. Throws his Tombstone down, that's going to be free gold. As 5 men clear up 2 kills, and on the doorstep of the Dire team.
If they misuse Winter's Curse, this game
Dire's
might just
middle tower
end
is
up.
under attack.
Or get 2 set of Raxes.
Well, Ace has to be careful to not get all cursed up and hit by his bear.
Right now, they're super spread. They're doing it nicely. No, they're not giving chance of Winter Wyvern to land a good curse.
Dire's middle tower is under
Tanking up
attack.
the tower. Spreading wide. Twilight Die jumped in. Anti-Mage makes that first move, but Twilight Die has begun the cave to save him, and the charge arriving. Misery's in with a clumsy net on the AM. They play, catches GH. Wyvern's down. Forced to buy back as Mind Control leaps into action, TP straight to the front lines. But 5 men, they've got a tier 3. They're forced to buy back from Wyvern. They don't really have to keep forcing things when they have another 2 minutes left on the Aegis.
Nothing for your troubles.
Miracle still holding the front line. Needs to be careful. Mag doesn't have any mana. He just brought a Clarity and a Mango. It's still not going to be enough for any like big kind of plays. You also need to be using Empower on the Bear, Spirit Breaker, putting in the bottom. Like, I need to clear this. Let's just go through the bottom. We force the buyback from Winter Wyvern, and if we kill him one more time, then we have a good opener going for the Raxes.
Yeah, we just have to wait for about 1.5 minutes. Refresher Orb cooldown is coming back up.
Double damage. It's almost 500 damage on Spirit Bear.
Holy shit.
Okay,
The Yules. Yeah. Bless the Yules on Lena.
Hype gone.
See ya. Buildings still alive. Oh, Misery, like you said, he clears out bottom. Now he charges top. That Aghanim Scepter letting him get across the map incredibly speedily. Refresher
On
Orb.
top, he will scout it out. This will pick it up. Refresher ready in 40 seconds. They will have 2 Nimbis and Thunder God's Red 2 times.
You can see Chessie blinking and spider legging all the way to that top room. And they've drawn the lines on the map. Pilot Eye says, let's close them in. Don't give this AM an opportunity to get out and split push.
Scanning.
And you can see how afraid Miracle is. He hasn't looked at the base in a good 2.5 minutes. Usually an anti-mage in this kind of situation, he would be, behind tier 1 mid lane, like where they're pinging now. Orange pings mid lane saying, keep that creep wave alive, because AM could go and take it.
Check Spirit Breaker. He went for Echo Saber.
Hell
Even
yeah.
more farming tools, like I want to fight. He knows that he will scale, and I love the build because he's playing against the AM. And you just want to have an extra hero. Imagine scoring a bash on AM in a crucial situation because of the double hit. Huge is gone.
There's the jump onto the bear. Trying to bring it down, but it's tanky. Doesn't have any mana left, but it's going to rip through the barracks. Hot line through butter this. Big old teddy bear. RMN pops his ulti, but in comes the Thunder God's Wrath. The charge forward as well towards GH, and they've blown up both the No buyback on the Winter Wyvern, so no Winter's Curse. And Dying buys back, and Mind Control blinks in. Misery stomped up, but he's so tanky. 3,000 HP on this Spirit Breaker. The Glimmer Cape and a Solar Crest on him. 5 men are running away with this game now.
Dire's
I
bottom
don't
tower
see
is under attack.
Nigma winning a team fight. There's no Wyvern. Like, there is no counterplay once they decide to go in. And AM, he needs to be careful. If he pops the Mantis style right now, then he does not have a defensive tool. Are a man gone?
Bottom barracks.
And where is the anti-mage? He's in the fountain. He's hiding. The Count doesn't want to fight. He jumps forward now, pointing down the Zeus, but Rehard's already gone. No buyback on Lina, and it's AM against the world. He's bashed up and cleared out, and that's got to be game over. A double kill for Ace as 5 men sprint towards victory here in game 1. Ace Lone Druid breaking the losing streak and looking really good doing it.
Dire's middle tower
FPG is
is under
called.
attack.
I love
Dire's middle
how they
tower
executed
has
their
fallen.
lineup. They were getting so many kills in
Radiant
Chessie. They itemized perfectly. Mask of Madness, going for the Deso. Like all the cheap items that comes online fast. Getting that Aghanim Scepter on Zeus, Venomancer with the earlier